It made me cry.
This one's wife. As ever, there will be no products. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. How are you all enjoying your ARO jam? For some of you, you may well be listening to your glorious narrator as the toast pops in the toaster and you take a couple of slices of toasted wholemeal bread, place them on a plate and some butter, and then reach for a jar of ARO strawberry jam. Or perhaps raspberry is more to your liking, or apricot, or maybe even gooseberry. Are you enjoying that delicious, tangy ARO marmalade? No, you're not. And do you know why? Because it doesn't fucking exist. Because it was never created. Other than the jam scam that occurred last year, no jam ever made it into production to even be sold. ARO, as I explained to you such a long time ago, was dead. And now that's been confirmed. It's been chucked into a shallow grave and will only be remembered by those that ridicule it. No products appeared, despite telling us that this was the brand, that this was the lifestyle brand of this one's wife, despite explaining that this is what she was going to be doing and there'd be a cookery show tied in with it. Nothing happened. Tumbleweed. Silence. Yet, notwithstanding the complete failure to have anything for sale in relation to American Riviera Orchard, this one's wife has resurrected the brand as ever. Well, presumably this time around she'd learned her lesson. That she's ensured that she's got a lot of produce that's all organised, at least samples that she can demonstrate the existence of, products that are interesting, that have been branded, that she can sit and put in a video, or have a slick promotional video showing off a range of things to whet people's appetites, to get their juices going, to start to open up their wallets and purses in anticipation of a spending frenzy. No? There's no products available, you say, to appear in promotional videos. Oh, okay. Well, presumably there's already a shop front that exists before it goes live that has got pictures of what's available. As ever, birdhouses. As ever, cookie mix. As ever, trowels. As ever, dustpan and brushes. As ever, vaginal candle smells. Whatever it must be, presumably there's already a website that's building anticipation, ready to go live the moment the cookery show starts, so that people can see this one's wife in action with her ARO apron, with an ARO spoon, and with some ARO cookie mix. Oh no, as ever, remember it's changed. And so then people will go, look at that, I love that as ever apron, so stylish, so demure, so alluring. Oh, isn't that spoon that she's holding as ever wonderful? Oh, that cookie mix, that as ever cookie mix sounds delicious. And look at the cookies that she created. Let me at 'em. What's that you say? There is no shop front available. There's just a website that shows a picture of her and some child that's wearing a ginger wig. Oh, okay. Well, presumably then the products will be in the malls when the cookery show launches, and the website will go live then. Sorry, what's that at the back? They're not going to appear in the malls until the autumn, the fall. Okay. Well, the online store will go live, surely, won't it? It's not going to go live with the cookery show. So the optimum moment for getting people invested and selling to them, they won't be able to buy anything. Is that what you're telling me? Right. Okay. So as you can tell, valuable viewers, this one's wife has buggered it up completely. And this means that, to my mind, there are never going to be any products available for as ever. Here's why. She couldn't get it right with ARO. That demonstrates how useless she is. And remember, this is a narcissist that never ever learns from her mistakes. She repeats them. It's not as if she looks at ARO and thinks, how can I do it better? She just changes the name and goes again. She hasn't bothered to get products organised so that she can show them to you. She hasn't bothered to have an online shop in anticipation of going live. She doesn't have the products available for the coinciding with the launch of the cookery show. Bear in mind that cookery show was originally chalked to go down in January and then has been pushed back to March. You'd have thought everything would have been organised, ducks in a row, etc. for January, and then, given that some kind of extension of time had clearly been granted to her because she was all over the place, she would be ready for the launch at the beginning of March. But she isn't. So given the fact that she's not bothered to do any of those things now, why would she get them things organised for later this year? Why would she bother? If you can't be bothered to do it now, what makes you think that she's going to be bothered later on? The answer is she's not going to be bothered. The fact is that the cookery show will eventually go out. It seems like that's now going to happen, although there's not much promotion at all in relation to it. And we'll have a jolly good laugh at her flinging around edible flour sprinkles and talking shite and elevating stuff with mint, etc., and doing high tens with chefs and all the rest of it. But there's not going to be anything to buy because she can't be bothered to do that. You see, this one's wife doesn't innovate. She simply replicates. But she's too lazy to even do that. And the fact is, Netflix will see out this contract, and they've spoken about how stuff will be available in the malls, but she's going to have to the one that's going to have to provide it. Now you know yourself that this one's wife isn't going to be down the shed at the bottom of the garden making bird houses and automatic bird feeders. She isn't going to be in the kitchen creating all of the mixes and all of the jam. She's just going to get somebody else to do it. But even then, that takes effort and contracts and organisation and logistics, and it's simply too much like hard work. You'll be able to think of all of the instances where this one's wife has come up with things and she has never delivered. This time, it's going to be just the same. Netflix don't give a fig. They're out of there. They're getting out of Dodge. They might express some interest when it comes to the issue of their divorce, but beyond that, they will be pleased to see the back of her because it's been largely a disaster for them. They, as I've explained earlier, are keeping silent to avoid any potential culpability, and they just want to see the contract out so that she can't argue that they didn't support her. After all, if they go around saying, fuck me, this cookery show's a load of shite, don't watch it, she may have an actionable case against them. They are alive to the risk of litigation, and they're keeping their heads down and doing the bare minimum to ensure that they don't find themselves with a lawsuit from her. They're not bothered about selling the products. They will see it as laughable. They aren't going to be pulling up trees to ensure that it happens. This one's wife has to. And what will happen is, because of her narcissism, she'll make some kind of splash with the cookery show. It will provide her with fuel by way of people's reactions, pure positive fuel from her supporters, challenge fuel from her detractors. It'll enable her to assert control in the moment, and then people will be waiting for the product to appear, but the buzzer's gone. She's achieved what she needs to achieve, so why bother putting in the hard work to actually produce something? Yes, steps have been taken to seek trademarks, but even that's been done in a haphazard fashion, whereby she hasn't thought through carefully the name, and as mentioned in a previous video, there was a late application with regard to the cookie mix. It's all over the place. And essentially, a combination of her inherent laziness and the of-moment delivery requirements of her narcissism means that long-term projects are just simply not something that this one's wife engages in. If she couldn't get it right for ARO, if she couldn't get it right for as ever in relation to the start of the cookery show in January, if she couldn't get it right to coincide with her Instagram video to have something to show to you, if she couldn't get it right to coincide with the March launch date, if she couldn't get it right to even coincide with some of the episodes, or even at the end of the cookery series, it just points to the fact that she's not going to be ready in the summer or in the autumn or ever. As ever, is simply a device to make her look good. The deluded magical thinking that she operates by has caused her to believe that all she does is say, this is what it should be, and everybody else puts it together. But there's far more to it than that. And so many people are sick and tired of her and the way that she doesn't listen to advice, that it's a case of she's going to have to pull up the trees and pull out the stops to do it. And she simply won't, because she doesn't know how. She's lazy, so she isn't interested in learning how to do it. And because of her narcissism, it's all about getting the now rather than the long term. Mark my words, there will be no product, as ever, will not launch as a brand in any full sense of the word. Do you agree with me? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. If you disagree, please explain why. I'm always interested to see what views you have. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.